can I say good evening, Orlando, Florida, or wherever in Florida you come from. It's all the same. We're gathered here tonight, and I'm really excited. Thank you for coming out. Once again, good evening. Yesterday has been gone. All my that's how it ends. It's something I regret. And I should have opened all my eyes. And I should have seen that you were wearing on this guy. And I didn't know that we belonged. Just a kiss and you were gone. Yesterday has been and gone. Nothing left here to be done. Once again, thank you so very much, everybody. You are looking fabulous. Here's a statement. Between those two songs, there's 30 years, and as I play those two songs, I stay in office and say, fuck, it's amazing that I still almost look the same. And looking at you, there's not much change going on there anyway, neither, is there? Yeah, I remember that. Yes, you have to remind me. That's before I had wrinkles. Exactly. Every time I get sad, I just look at a Kiss video and I know I still got 10 years. Or something like that. I don't remember the story or whatever it is. Last song is from the new album. These days there are a few artists that actually do write new current music. And like a lot of people always write in and think that I'm just going to disappear after the show in a limousine. When in actually, I have just a rental car sitting outside and I carry my guitar. So after the show, what we're going to do is, I have a kick-ass t-shirt, I got 2 great albums, I got a cool hat. Well, I just got a big bear hug if you want or whatever, and you know. So we'll get that ready after the show, and photographies again, like I said before, it's not a Kiss show, photos are free. You can film it, you can record it, you can press it, you can release it. I have no power. I belong to you. Are you crying tonight? Are you feeling alright? Tell her whether you are down. went to fight a war. They took your life, but they didn't know. They said that you would never die. So rise again, little fighter. Let the world know the reason why. Shine again, little fighter. Don't let the man that thinks you do rise again, little fighter. And let the world know the reason why. Shine again, little fighter. Don't let the man that thinks you do. Don't let him ever end the little things you do. That's some nice memories, isn't it? And sometimes during the night I wake up and I also have memories. Some of them are good, and there are some that aren't that good and stuff like that. And it's, of course, I know you guys are going through it too. It says, what were we thinking in 1988? What went on? We were thinking a lot of good things. And a funny or an interesting little thing here that especially happened to me, and I've known it has happened to actors and stuff like that, that's suddenly, when they get known for something, for example, being like, you know, a pretty boy or something like that. Now I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about a young actor. The first thing they want to do is kill that image. So they show up to accept the awards with a full-grown beard, glasses, and look absolutely nothing like the battle scene they're wearing or something like that, wearing no shirt. And I had a little bit of the same kind of revelation as we got into what we call the big game album after the Pride album had gotten so big, and we had toured around the world and played with all the great big bands. I don't know, somehow I suddenly felt, you know, I'm gonna leave all the TNA songs to Poison and Warrant, and I'm gonna start writing some songs that I'll be proud of when I'm 54, which I am today. Now, I understand that right now and today, I'm glad I made a little bit of that decision, but I remember showing up in the studio and telling Vito and the rest of the band that, you know, this is the sort of the new concept that I'd come up with. And one of those things that doesn't go along together at that time is your image is still an 80s image. Meanwhile, half of your soul has become Bono. And they're instantly fighting each other in front of the mirror, says, no, grow a beard, no, don't, keep your hair blonde, I want to cut my hair off. That kind of battle is what you wake up with every day and stuff like that. And then you say to yourself, what the fuck are you kidding, man? Keep going with the long hair. And a very, very interesting episode happened in 1989 when White Line was sandwiched in between Motley Crue and Skid Row playing Wembley Stadium in England. And of course, we know these are the two bad boy bands. Compared to Motley Crue and Skid Row, we're kind of like Justin Bieber before he started smoking crack. Okay? We're like the serious songwriters, in case you didn't know. I know when you went through Circus Magazine, quickly it all looked like it was one band. The first half hour is just blonde hair, and you know it is the singers. Then you go through an hour and a half of jet black hair, and you know that is the rest of the band. And then there's 2 pages at the end of the magazine with curly hair, you know it's a keyboard player. Which is why he was off stage. In most situations, it has never happened in the 50s, didn't happen in the 60s. Even the Beatles had Billy Preston, a black man, on stage playing Hammond B3. They could have gotten goddamn anybody. That's what they chose. 70s, you got John Lord, you got the 70s on the big keyboard names. In the 80s, the keyboard players were behind the stage because there weren't any great looking keyboard players or whatever. Maybe there weren't. I know, that's just one of those things. So getting back to the story, being in England, where I'm having this revelation that it is time for me to save the young people and do something good for the earth. So I find myself standing there in front of this large, drunk English crowd talking about saving the bald eagle and the whale, and keeping the beaches clean, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if you guys remember when in the 80s, and you've probably seen it videos before, when Queen went on stage at Live Aid and got 100,000 people to do the Radio Gaga like this. I got the same effect at Wembley Stadium, except for they were doing this. So I couldn't use it for a video. This is one of those things. You were just saying the wrong things at the wrong time. This is one of those. Stand up and cry for freedom. Keep the dream alive. The fire's burning. We lay our weapons down to rest. Let's walk in over till all the people will be free. Straight from our hearts we cry. Songs will carry on. For the sake of freedom we'll die. Songs will carry on. In what we try to keep our dream alive. The voices will be heard all around the world. So stand up and cry for freedom. Keep the dream alive. Stand up and cry for freedom. Keep the dream alive. Our brothers and prisoners, I know crime was ever done. Call it racism. I shield my face, my fellow man. The children I'll take away. Families destroyed. Millions have died for starvation. We can't go on this way. And Lord, we pray that maybe soon someday the world will smile again. We shall be released. So stand up and cry for freedom. Keep the dream alive. Stand up and cry for freedom. Keep the dream alive. Stand up and cry for freedom. Keep the dream alive. Stand up and cry for freedom. Keep the dream alive. So stand up and cry for freedom. Keep the dream alive. Stand up and cry for freedom. Keep the dream alive. a big Wyland fan, and they don't know that song, but you guys, I saw you guys, that's what they call me. It's usually all the girls, they just skip over those kind of songs. They take them a little deeper and until you grow older. But actually, a few of the things that I do say tonight are serious. They're not just comic and jokes and stuff like that. And this next song is sort of one of the reasons that I'm here. The second is money. This is the angel and the devil on my shoulder. Just as I'm trying to become a serious artist, there's some fucking clown on the other shoulder. Say something funny. Cut that arm off in a second. If it wasn't the one I was picking with. Anyway, just going back a few years, I'm not going to count. How about like 2012? This is when I'm at the crossroads in my life and not really sure where I'm going with what I now do, sort of called, quote unquote, my career. And I'm standing there, and I went into my friend's recording studio. We've done a couple albums together, a full band, rock album, and things like that. And I just says, you know what? I don't know what's going on, but I need to hear something fresh and new coming out of the speakers. And we sat and talked a little, and then he says, you know, remember every time we do a rock album, when the rest of the guys leave, we sit at night and we maybe play some old Springsteen and Johnny Cash on that acoustic thing, because I know that is where you come from. And you know, a lot of people think that when you got known in the 80s that you were born into the world in tight Spanish pants and big hair. And you had no life prior to that. And that's of course not completely true. I was raised on very, very much folk music. You know, my mom played Dylan until I decided to call my own son Dylan. That's how much he played. You know, Neil Young, Crosby, Stills, Nash, the Eagles, all this stuff. That is my foundation, and a lot of rock guitar player fans and stuff like that, Vito Brana, does not know that a lot of the White Line songs come from the background that I'm kind of just standing up here playing the campfire versions of those. So it has been sort of a little bit more easy for me to tame the songs, edit the guitar solos out, because you guys don't want to hear that. Anyway, the truth of the matter is, he says, why don't you just, for once in your life, do it live? Go in and sit down in a chair, play and sing a song. Went in there and then played the first one. I came out, and you come up with a piano part and you play it. Then I did another one. At the end of the first day, I recorded the first 4 songs. Next day we did the other 4 and then 2 more, and then the album was done. And that was done all in the sort of dry cleaning bill of what it cost my jackets and white lines to get cleaned after just one show. I recorded a whole album. But at the same time, I had also found a way for me to continue playing some of the old songs, but in a fresh and new way, because I had already said to myself, I don't want to go out and try to recreate or relive my Tramp 1987, because I can't do that, and I don't want to do that. But what I would like to do is gather some great friends and play some music in the way I am today. This is a special song because this became the title track of my previous album called Cobblestone Street, and it's really a song about going back to where you come from. It doesn't have to be just musically, but coming back there and sometimes discovering that things aren't the way you thought they would be. She wasn't really as hot looking as you thought she would be. You hadn't really parked the car the way you thought you had. Stuff like that. And also a thing about going back and not accepting changes. That could be musically. The streets are long, don't look the same. Different people, different names. The red shops, they disappeared. But all of the memories are still right here. This place I once called home. mama raised street boys on her own. No matter where I go, I'll take her with me. I won't let go. Don't fade away. Oh, cobblestone street where I come from. Don't fade away. Don't cobblestone streets where I was born. Take a walk in through the park. Kids are playing till it gets dark. Right here, my childhood dreams were made. Their dirty faces and lemonade. Summer days, they were long, and nothing mattered 'cause we were young. Those years of innocence, I do remember, I won't forget. Don't fade away. Oh, cobblestone street where I come from. Don't fade away. Oh, cobblestone street where I belong. Don't fade away. Oh, cobblestone street where I was born. Don't fade away. Oh, cobblestone street of Copenhagen. Cobblestone street, cobblestone street, yeah. Cobblestone street, cobblestone street, yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you much. And I'm gonna stick a little bit longer with the very, very serious stuff, and sometimes take some chances here. And I'm sometimes trying hard to explain that once in a while when I'm lucky enough to do an interview, and it's usually with like an 18-year-old who has a web scene that plays nothing but death metal, and somehow he decides, of course, he has to interview me after he just interviewed Obituary or something else, and it's a perfect thing, perfect contrast. And simply, I might get in trouble for some of the things that I say, but so do all the politicians and stuff like. And you got to stand up for what you believe in. And simply, all I'm trying to do is for myself and for those of you guys who want to follow. I'm simply creating the next space for us to move into. I personally feel there's a limit of how long you can sing 80s music like you do in the 80s. So I'm trying to make a place for myself that I'm comfortable with playing songs and music that has meaning, because I'm not done playing. I don't have plenty of stuff to go. So that's sort of what this is about, yeah? And not to worry, the set list is limited. The set list is limited. This is not Bon Jovi show. This is not a 1-hour show. You paid $150 and you never got the songs you want to hear. Tonight is the stuff. You're gonna get everything, okay? Don't worry about it. I was supposed to have a fire-breathing dragon and a revolving drum riser, but we left that home. We're just gonna stick on one more song here. This is the title track of the new album called Trust in Yourself. I wasn't born behind the walls of keeping. Don't need no holy book to tell me good from sin. You got a problem with my neighbor as well. I took the open road to get me through this life. Yes, I did. I never messed around with drugs or adrenaline. Don't chase no skirt around the rainbow parking lot. I keep my weapons safely loaded by my bed. This is the way I live, and I have no regrets, and I'm fine. My own business. I'm just telling you this so you know where I stand, 'cause I do. My own business, and I ain't gotta change what you do me no good. I've been here always and not understood, 'cause we're all that we know. This is all we should know. You can follow like sheep. I trust in yourself. No God, no religion, nobody to rule over me. I'm free. That's when, that's the way it's gonna be. Don't trust my government, those who make the law. If they want peace, why do they start another war? And all this preaching about what's right or right is wrong. And let the simple man write this protest song. Yes, I'm my own business. I'm just telling you this so you know where I stand. Yes, I do. My own business. Yeah, I ain't gotta change what I'm doing no good. I've been here all is not understood. 'Cause we're all that we know. This is all we should know. You can follow like sheep. I trust in yourself. No God, no religion, nobody to rule over me. I'm free. That's me, that's the way it's gotta be. Yes, I'm mine, my own business. I'm just telling you this so you know where I stand. Yes, I do. My own business. Yeah, I ain't gotta change what you tell me no good. I've been here alone, is not understood. 'Cause we're all that we know. This is all we should do. You can follow like sheep. I trust in yourself. No God, no religion, nobody to rule over me. I'm free. That's me, and that's the way it's gonna be. 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 Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much. Now we're gonna do something a little special here. It sounds the same, but it's different. It's special, and I feel special when I do this special song. And it comes with an extra long story. And for me to justify those long stories is basically because the reason why I've edited out all the guitar solos on the whole set. Okay, that's how I balance it. At least that's one of the reasons. Back in 1976, I know it's a long ass time ago, but it's a fact. It says it in Wikipedia. I can't lie. It was in 1976 when I got into my own first band by accident, lassoed on my way to my youth club with my acoustic guitar under my arm. There were three guys, 10 years older than me. Says, "This is the kind of young guy we want in our band." This is like 10 decades before people started thinking about Justin Bieber and all that kind of stuff. That's what they were looking at and told me. So shortly after I got settled in that band and we started rehearsing up a set and stuff like that, we got a call from a big promoter saying, "We need a support band tonight." And we already had the van loaded and stuff like that. We drove into Copenhagen, which is where I'm from. And there in front of the, it's in Denmark, not Copenhagen, Florida, just in case you guys were confused. And as we pull up in front of the arena, there it is tonight. And for you serious rock fans out there that's a little older than Warrant, it said Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. Okay. And I remember sitting there on the first row watching the sound check. And I can tell you one thing from what I've already been through. This was a time when bands were playing really loud. Not 80s loud, compressed guitars. So like Blackmore was louder than, 10 times louder than Manowar claims to be. It's as simple as that. They say this was the loudest thing I've ever heard. But regardless of how loud he was playing, my eyes and ears were focused on the girl selling popcorn. No, it's not. My eyes and ears were focused on the little man with the greatest and the biggest rock and roll voice in the world, Ronnie James Dio, ladies and gentlemen. And as he grabbed the microphone, it was one of those Live on Memories commercials where my hair just went. And I also started shitting in my pants and looked at the other guys and says, "There is no way we are going to be on that stage." And I tell you what, had we gotten up on that stage, I wouldn't have been here today because I would have been ruined for life. Ruined for life. They would have lynched us because we were probably a little bit closer to basically Rollers than we were to Rainbow. Just a little more over on that side. And there's no way we could have tamed the rock crowd of 1976. They weren't as forgiving as you guys are today. Today you're just good looking and you're but back then you actually knew how to play. So luckily we came up with a lame ass excuse, and I don't know if it was an ear infection, a sore throat, or an ingrown toenail, but the promoter let us go and you know, they just played a lot of blues. During that night, I sat at the back of the arena completely focused on Ronnie, from one kick-ass vocal performance to one kick-ass song after another, and from that day on, I followed Ronnie till his last breath and stuff like that. It was true as a story. I was lucky enough in 1993 to tour with Ronnie James Dio for 2 months in Europe with my band after a while I called Freak of Nature. We became great friends with Ronnie, and it was one of those tours that was really relaxed, so Ronnie took a lot of time to talk to us and hang with us. And it was sort of like, without doing too much age difference, it was really like being with your dad and getting real advice that you could use. And it's just one of those things. And I remember always wanting to talk to Ronnie about his strong vocals because I had never heard a bad performance from Ronnie anywhere. And you know, my bass player was really into bootleg albums and stuff like that. We had a lot of that stuff. It didn't matter how crappy the recording sounded. Ronnie shined through like a diamond in every recording. I was like, holy shit. And I kept looking, and I came across a lot of band performances by Paul Stanley and also by myself, but no matter what, I still couldn't find anything with Ronnie. So it was just a fact. It didn't exist. He had never sung a bad note in his life. Now here's the final part of the story. It's like the Lord of the Rings. This is the trilogy, okay? This is the final part, the battle scene. Because as we came to the last night, and you guys have probably heard about bands do this on the final night when you play pranks on each other, because it's just something we do. And half the times, the audience have no fucking idea what's going on out there. It's just, why is Ozzy Osbourne dumping 2 kilos of potato salad over Tommy Lee? And then you hear 20 years later on the documentary that they were just having fun and stuff like that. And we knew all those stories. And Ronnie's road crew demolished our band. And by the last 3 songs, we just had a hi-hat. And I remember looking at the other guys and saying, what key are we playing in? What song are we doing? And everybody said, I don't know. But in our mind, we were swearing sweet revenge. It was just wait. But then when we got to the dressing room, we started, hey, hold on a second here. We can't do anything bad to the Holy Diver. We can't. We can't do that. You know, we have to do something smart. And I had done that. This is a story for next year when I'll talk about some other pranks we did with other bands, but they were classic pranks that will be remembered by those bands. And actually we'll still have a chance to be invited back and not hated for the rest of the life. I said, you know what we need? And you know, Ronnie's lyrics are very graphic and very medieval and all that kind of stuff. It's just the way Ronnie was. And he was touring on an album called Lost Highways. It's not as big as the album, and no, you girls don't have that album, but nevertheless. He had a song from that album called Jesus, Mary, and the Holy Ghost. And as you guys are familiar with that subject, right? We've just come out of Easter, so we've been all plastered with that, and now we got a TV series called AD in the Bible, something like that. So this is what I said to the guys. What we need here is the last 10 minutes of Ben-Hur. Okay, this is a great movie with Charlton Heston. I've seen it 50 million times. It is the ultimate movie of that time. And this is the last 10 minutes is simply just the prosecution and the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And you know what, he carries that heavy ass cross and nobody's helping him through the town, and people throwing rocks at him, and the women are crying, and the Romans are beating him more and more, like, haven't they heard him enough? That's the scene we need. And we're sitting in a dressing room, and the guys go, how the fuck are we gonna do that? So we demolished a bench, made a gigantic cross, and everybody starts looking around. Yes, but who's gonna be Jesus? And then it says, I'm sure I can play that role. So, you know, I just dressed off, took a towel, gaffer taped it around my waist, and that's all I had on, you know. A little bit of aluminum foil in the hair, and I had a crown of thorns, sort of. But, and you know, this is one of those things. The rest of the guys dressed up, imitated to be Romans. The drummer decided to dress up as Casper the Ghost. And what I didn't tell you guys is that this show is taking place in a little town between Germany and Denmark that we still have not decided which country that town is in. And probably about 55 people have showed up to see this show, this great rock show. In those days there weren't Google, so that town does not exist anywhere except for on our tour itinerary. So this is the home run right now. As Ronnie starts this song, and we're getting ready, I'm now to admit to you guys that I was there the night, and the reason why Ronnie sang his only bad note in his life. Because as he started the song, sort of like that, and this Easter parade came across the stage, he just went, woo! And we heard our ass back to the dressing room and waited till Ronnie was Damn, and he comes into the dressing room and goes, that was the funniest thing I've fucking ever seen. Cheers. It doesn't end there, so... Well, the story ends there, but the song isn't. So when I got the bad news that Ronnie had passed away, and I was in the middle of writing songs for one of my albums, I said, you know, I want to write a song for this gentle giant, and this has to be a song about his life, not a Dio tribute sounding like Ronnie or stuff like that. I want to do a gentle song that explains life. So if you're familiar with the titles of his songs and his lyrics and stuff like that, this will be a trip through Ronnie's life. Plain and simple, called Hymn for Ronnie. On a misty May morning, somewhere in LA, a man on a still mountain faded away. Angels had come when most expected beasts, and their journey never gone. Ronnie, rest in peace. And thousands came to honor the ever became a king. Protest on a sidewalk inside, good friends would sing. Ride away on your rainbow through the gates of Babylon. Heaven and hell, they know you well, yes they do. Sing us a song, you're the singer, and your voice will live on. Or you might be the last one, but you'll always shine. You said long live rock and roll, and from that day on the path was laid. Oh, we sold our soul, price we proudly paid. Oh, you knew the mob rules, led by neon nights. Yeah, you raced us well, and made also your rock and roll children. With dragons by your side, oh, you sat on your throne, commanding us all to stand up and shout. Ride away on your rainbow through the gates of Babylon. In heaven and hell, they know you well, yes they do. Sing us a song, you're the singer, and your voice will live on. Cause you might be the last in line, but you'll always shine. Let me ask you a question. There's something I need to know. Oh, did Richie Blackmore ever thank you for making his rainbow glow? Yeah, what was he thinking when he told you to go. Yeah, didn't you know we follow you wherever you put on a show? You gave new life to Black Sabbath. It was a sign of the Southern Cross. And never again your children be lost to the sea. Ride away on your rainbow through the gates of Babylon. Heaven and hell, they know you well, yes they do. Sing us a song, you're the singer, and your voice will live on. Oh, you might be the last in line, and you will always shine. Why did they fear you? Those holy men in black. Oh, they blamed and accused you. A light in the black. Come on, holy diver, go on and give them hell. Born a true survivor, you didn't need no wishing well. So long, Ronnie, thank you from us all. They will all welcome you in that great hallowed home. Oh, 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 there's still more to the story. So as I'm standing in my little studio and just going through some of the songs, exercising my fingers and my vocal cords and stuff like that, and I play the song, and my daughter comes in and asks me what this song is about, and I explain it to her that this is a song that Daddy is writing for one of his heroes and stuff like that. And she goes, Daddy, can you write a song like for One Direction? And I'm like, how am I going to respond to that? And I go, okay, you got to be smart here. I put my Gene Simmons hat on and I go, okay. Oh yeah? No. I says, baby, remember what happened to Justin Bieber? And that you were a fan of him and then he was gone? Well, the same thing's going to happen to One Direction. So, you know, Daddy writes songs for legends, not overnight sensations that are gone to him. And she started crying and didn't talk to me for another week. Mean Daddy. And now since I got to the US and on tour, I've been buying $150 worth of 5 Seconds of Summer's iPhone covers, pillowcases. What's going on here, eh? You know 5 Seconds of Summer? I know, I'm talking wrong. I know, that's another band from Australia that Simon Cowell created, you know, one of those prefab four, you know, things like that. And they kind of play like a band, you know, they've got distorted guitars and stuff like that. You know, things like at least that's how it sounds already. And so that's the next thing there. You know, and it's like it's really expensive to have it all, and lots of kind of stuff. 5 seconds of song. Okay. 5 seconds of fame.
We haven't even been through a whole bottle of vodka yet. We haven't even made it through one
I
bottle.
haven't thought about this before, but as I'm playing the Ronnie song, it finally comes to me that this next song, the title of this next song, comes from two songs that both of my ultimate heroes, like Ronnie James Dio and Freddie Mercury from Queen, that I grew up with. And as I'm sitting there in New York writing the lyrics to the song that Vito and I had written, these two titles come into my head, and one of them was called Lady of the Lake. It's a rainbow song from Along the Rock and Roll, and the other one was called Lily of the Valley. And I pulled out a couple of words and says, how about if I call this Lady of the Valley? Lady of the Valley, can you hear me cry in the stillness of the night? I have lost my brother in the fights and war, and my soul has broken down. In the night I cry, but no one seems to hear. Stepping through the light, but all I feel is fear. In the night I cry to the Lady of the Valley, 'cause the die went out. The Lady of the Valley, Lady of the Valley, can you hear me back to the days when we were kids? Once we were together, we stood young and strong, but now it seems so long ago. Golden key is at the end of the chain. Oh, how it hurts, our Lady, free me from this pain. In the night I cry to the Lady of the Valley, 'cause the die went out. The Lady of the Valley, in the night I call to the Lady of the Valley. On my knees I fall for the Lady of the Valley. But right now there's a big ass guitar solo that I just had to edit out. It's just too difficult. In the valley lies a treasure, and the Lady guards it well. You bears all the pressure, is the one to break the spell. And there's a sign I'll follow, and it has led you to your seat. I have brought my fallen brother lady of the valley, 'cause I'm dying out. The lady of the valley, in the night I cry to the lady of the valley, 'cause I'm dying out. The lady of the valley, in the night I call to the lady of the valley. On my knees I fall for the lady of the valley. Oh, thank you much. Okay. Another trip back to a long time ago. I'm going to take you guys back to 1983. 1983. I remember coming to New York in 1982. That's when my American adventure started. I remember coming in that year. That's the year David Letterman started his show. And just the discovery of MTV in those days was quite amazing. This is when they actually used to play music for 3 hours. And then a VJ came on and just talked for like 2 or 3 minutes, like a JJ Jackson and Adam Curry. Something like that, yeah. They just talked, nothing, not Carson Daly and all that kind of crap. You know? They just came and talked about some music, and then they played another 3 hours of great rock and roll videos and stuff like that. You know? Not so much bullshit and stuff like that. That was soon to change, right? It was that first reality show they put on? It's like, oh, I don't want a reality show. Music, television. I don't know. This song is not about MTV, but I just got to remember that. And this was a time when I had met Vito Bratta, the great guitar player Vito Bratta, that of course, him and I had, I was saying a bond. I don't know if that's the right word. It's what we formed. But we decided to form a band together. And I remember in the beginning, my band from Europe we called Lion. And so that was what we would call that in the beginning, and we were playing all my songs. Vito was playing in a Van Halen cover band, funny enough, and Iron Maiden songs and stuff like that. That's what he was doing. So he was not used to writing songs. And so our managers said that the time had come for us to see if we could gel together and write songs. And they had also found out that there was a band in California called Lion. So maybe we should come up with something new. And I went through the big books and all the magazines to try to see if I could get inspired. And all the names I came up with were like gigantic, real metal names. Huge, like serious metal names. And everything I threw on the table, they were just looking at their videos, just, why don't we call it White Lion? That's the first battle I lost. You're finally making a roll. What? So there was a band called White Tiger in New York. There were already Zebra there, and White Snake. There you go, right there. Just that's enough not to call yourself anything white. But anyway, obviously, that's what we ended up being called. And Vito was kind of living quite far away from where I was living. If you were from New York, he was living in Staten Island. Sometimes you got to cross a big bridge or you got to take a ferry. And I was living in something Jackson Heights, Queens, also known as Little Cuba. Of course, a kid from Copenhagen, Denmark, thought it was the most wonderful place you could be living. I was just happy to be there. I remember him telling me, he says, man, I got no money to come over. I got no money for my gas in my car, my big Monte Carlo. He says, but my mom said I could borrow 20 quid, $20, and I gotta pay it back when I come back, So I says, well, Vito, I'll do my best to try to find that $20. And I don't know what the fuck I did, but somehow when he got over, I had that 20 ready for him. I can tell you what, I had nothing. I was a foreigner, almost an illegal alien, and just had a pair of boots, jeans, and jacket, and slept on a couch that any door would open up for me. So I always thought about, how about if we had called this next song the $20 song? But then again, it wouldn't have looked great on a rock album. But he came over, and that night we sat up and we wrote this song. And not that all of you guys find that very interesting, but to me it was always interesting from what I went through with White Line and stuff like that. It's like the first song we wrote, and almost the first note I went for was the highest note I sang in my entire career. It's like I couldn't have eased into it and give myself a little bit of space to just gently get into the 80s. I just fucking went for the absolute to the highest one, and it was a struggle. Good to see you back. So anyway, that's how it all ended up, and I suffered on that song for the rest of my life until I finally decided, all you gotta do is just play it and sing a little different. Trying to fight the pain from a broken heart. Why she left me, I don't know. It really doesn't matter anymore. Thought our love could last forever. 'Cause here I stand, lost and all alone. There is light, even after a broken heart. You can't fight the pain for a broken heart. Broken heart, start another day. We're not alone. 1984, that is a long time. Fight to Survive album, the first online album came out then. There's such a long story behind that. The interesting thing is that sometimes when you make wrong decisions and stuff like that, for example, our manager had told us that we needed to get out of New York to record the next album. He wanted us to not have any distractions and stuff like that. So he came down the rehearsal room and says, we have two options here, and the guys are sitting there and I'm sitting there, and he says, you can either go to Hawaii and record this album where it smells of coconuts and pineapples and girls in bikinis, or you can go to Frankfurt, Germany. Yeah, that's somebody who's never been to Frankfurt, Germany. So obviously, the guys who basically just know about America, and then there's me who know about the rest of the world, they go, Frankfurt, Germany, that sounds exotic. Let's go there. So it was 3 versus 1. I mean, Frankfurt, Germany is not too far away from Denmark. I know what Frankfurt, Germany is in February. You like the color gray? Anyway, so we ended up there, and there was absolutely zero to do, and I'm sure that's what our manager wanted us to do. So we just ended up sitting there and concentrating on recording the album. It's just a memory that's was soon to change. Of course, it does not lead up to this story at all, but it was a nice little historical fact. This song here is a very, very special song to myself, and I think by the time I'm done with this song, you will find it special too. My mom, when I was 15 and a half, and I called her up in the middle of the summer vacation, says, Mom, I'm not coming back to school, I'm joining a rock band. I know. Imagine if I'd had a father. He had went sailing way before that, and somehow ended up on the wrong ship that never came back. So all my mom just says, oh, I hope you know what you're doing. And from that day on, my mom supported me. And not financially, but supported me, and she always left every door open, and she always just said, I hope you know what you're doing, and stuff like that. So my mom was a big part of my life. When she passed away 4 years ago, I finally realized that I'd never really said thank you to her in the way that I really wanted to do, and I'd never written a song for her. So obviously, when the time came and I felt it in my heart and I had what I wanted to do, I wrote a song for her. And every night I give this to each of you because your mom are the ones who gave you life, like my mom gave my life. So this is also a song for you guys to take out. It's simply just called Mother, and it's from the new album you're seeing.
Looking at the house where you grew up, nothing much had changed, frozen in time. Thinking of the choices that you made, said
kind of song everybody needs, so just take a second. And 25,000 rock fan sings. 150 will do. sense at times. I sometimes forget about it, but then when I see you guys get into it, I go, yes, yes. Kind of like the summer of '69. Just a couple years ago. I started thinking about something that's not on the set list that I'm going to see. Does anybody remember the White Line album? The last one we did called Main Attraction? Yeah! 21 is because this is a song that I usually don't play. But I have to play it tomorrow. Tomorrow is a private show that I'm doing, which means there's no ticket sold for it. It's a private. And sometimes when my agent says it's just a private show, I don't pay a lot of attention to what the kind of private show it is and stuff like that. And then I find out this is a wedding anniversary, and the guy came to one of my other shows to kind of let me know what's going on. Like I have a choice. And he says, "Well, here's the story behind the song." And I got free guitar picks for everyone after the show. Okay, it's not Kiss, it's free. He comes to me and says, "Well, here's the story behind this whole thing. It's like I picked the wedding song before I picked the wife." Is that bad? Is that no? I mean, it's just like he just etched it out in stone. This is the rules. This is the way it's going to be. The wife has to fit into this concept. Has to fit into the concept. I said, that's kind of interesting. You know, you lay down the rules, so no breaking them along, and she comes into your life and you start cutting your hair, not hanging out with the boys anymore and stuff like that. It says you've really been pushy with and shit like that. No, he laid it out. This is the way. This song is going to be, you know, so I says, okay, very impressive. It's just, so this big surprise here, you know, stuff like that. Do not fucking post this on YouTube before after tomorrow, okay? Because I won't get paid. Maybe I shouldn't do it. There is this song. There's quite a funny story, and I'm really going to try to see, because if you don't understand the punchline, it kind of dies. But I'm really going to try to do it, and it is. I spend a lot of time in Indonesia because that's where my wife and children are. Okay, and their White Lion songs, the big ballads, are really known, and this is one of the songs that are gigantic there. Really, I can't even take a step before there's somebody behind me with a cell phone playing the song. So it's a gigantic song. So it has happened that I've ended up being invited or hired, sometimes against my will, to come to some weddings and sing the song. And some of these weddings that I end up coming to are big. It's in Indonesia, but this is a big Chinese weddings, and sometimes there's 4,000 to 5,000 people. They're gigantic, and the rooms are humongous, and everything like that. So my wife has made these connections and says, "Can you go earlier and just coordinate it with the band?" So I show up to this place, and after 11 years of in and out of this country, I still don't speak one language. I kind of protest. I said, no, this is not. I don't speak Indonesian. So I come into this place, been given an address, and I come in and look, holy shit, and everybody looks at me. I'm the only one who's not dressed at them. Then I locate the band in the corner. And the second I locate them, says, what's wrong with this picture? And it's like a string quartet plus a piano player in black tie and stuff like that. Says, oh, I really fit in there. So I go up to the band. Before I even get to say a word, he says, oh, can we take picture? I says, hold on, guys. First we learn the song, then we take picture, because they always take picture first before anything else. I don't know why it is. Can we take picture? No, you cannot take picture. Learn the song. You have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. What song? What song? And I'm sitting there with the piano, and just da, 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 da. I don't have a phone with me. I basically give up. I says, I'm just gonna wing it. Whatever I get thrown, I'll wing it. So I go out and I sit at a table and stuff like that, and people come in and everybody looks at me. Every time they go back, I just, this is really just not right here. And then finally, after half an hour, I'm getting steamed up. pissed to the max, and then says, when I see my wife, I'm gonna punch her straight in the fucking face. Because this is not what I'm here for. Then this, yeah, of course I'm not. But, that's how I feel. Finally, this guy comes up to me, he says, Mister, you at wrong wedding. I says, what do you mean I'm a wrong wedding? I'm at the wrong wedding. He says, yeah, you at the wrong wedding. I says, how can I be at the wrong wedding? He says, oh, you upstairs. I go upstairs, there's another 5,000 people upstairs having another wedding. And I look at the band, oh, okay, that's a little bit more my band. Not necessarily, but I can see them, and they instantly start playing the song in a key that's too high. Again. I says, oh, I'm really gonna have it home when I get home. So the whole story, this song has brought a lot of that kind of stuff to me.
As we walk the golden mile down the pretty aisle, I know that you are mine, and there's nothing in this world that I know I wouldn't do to be near you every day, every hour, every minute. Take my hand and let me lead the way. 'Cause all through your life, I'll be by your side, to death do us part. Baby, I'll be your friend. My love will never end, to death do us part. When I wake up every day, when you're lying in my arms, I wonder if I'm dreaming. When I look into your eyes, I just can't believe it's true, that my heart belongs to you. Baby, we can have it all. So take my hand and let me lead the way. Yeah, all through your life, I'll be by your side, to death do us part. Baby, I'll be your friend. My love will never end, to death do us part. There'll be good times, there'll be bad, but I will stand beside you, woman, all the way. And through the years, as life goes on and on, when snow will fall and winter nights, I keep you warm inside. Yeah, all through your life, I'll be by your side, to death do us part. Baby, I'll be your friend. My love will never end, to death do us part. Yeah, all through your life, I'll be by your side, to death do us part. Baby, I'll be your friend. My love will never end, to death do us part.
We got that one out of the way. I just had to just check it out before tomorrow. imagine if you walked in the stage and, Mister, you at the wrong gig. Could happen. Could happen. Has happened. I actually think it has happened. I just didn't make it all the way to the stage. I'm just gonna visit a band that I had in '93. Let me just. That's just on the spot. No afraid. You guys are very well behaved. Usually people shout away like. Anyway, right as White Line was coming down that final week, and I had said to Vito, this is when we play Boston the next week. It would be September 2nd, 1991. That's going to be our final show, and. It's a little bit of an interesting story. It's not a very long story, but it's a pretty strong fact. And because I remember when it happened, and we were playing somewhere in Rhode Island, and the power had gone down. I think we were playing like a big Six Flags adventure or something, like a big show. And Vito and I standing behind the Marshall or the Carvin stacks and stuff like that. And I know something came into my head. I looked at him and says, when we play in Boston next week, that's going to be the last show. And he looked at me and he just went, okay. And I swear to God that for at least 10 years, we never spoke about this. It was so quickly, and the thing that was most interesting to me was, when I started to think about it later on, was that our record company, our managers, our publishers, our t-shirt people, that were making a lot of money off us. Nobody fucking called the next day when I went back to California and he went to New York. It was like, you would have expected this call. What are you guys, fucking crazy? How about you guys just take a little bit of a break and then we get together? Nobody said anything. And then 10, 15 years later, after very, very few conversations that Vito and I had had, one day we ended up really talking about it. Just, yeah. That's pretty damn strange of all the stuff we did. But already at that time, I had made up in my mind that I wanted to start a new band. I wanted to get back to how it felt when I was in the White Line in the beginning, when we used to look forward to come to rehearsal and hang out. It wasn't like that at the end. I don't know why. So I wanted to get back to that feeling of what it's like to be in a band with brothers. Get together in a rehearsal room, drink a couple beers, play some rock and roll, and leave as friends and say, maybe let's go do something else instead of going separate ways as much as possible. And my band, Freak of Nature, became exactly that for 3 years, and they were like 3 of my best years in my life. You don't get a thing, hurry, you're my baby.
using my wisdom, living for feet ahead. So why is it when you can't identify, you will call me names and play our games? When will you finally break on through and take a look inside your foolish pride? Say, oh, what am I? Oh, what am I? I'm just a freak of nature, singing an old song, doing you near wrong. I'm just a freak of nature, using my wisdom, leaving 4 feet ahead. I'm just a freak of nature, using my wisdom, leaving for freedom. I'm just a freak of nature, singing a song, ah, dear wrong. I'm just a freak of nature, singing an old song, doing you no wrong. And I'm just a freak of nature, using my wisdom, living for feet ahead.
Just one of those important things. Now, 4 o'clock in the 80s was a very important time. This is when young people, I'm using the word young kind of like, would rush home for school because between 4 and 5 would be the 10 most requested videos of the day. I know you're talking, I know you're talking. This was where band broke. As that you made it to there because we gotta realize that that was across the country. Plainers and more like that. They got it 3 hours later in California, but nevertheless, it's just the way it was. And in '87, when we released our, not first, but our second video, but in this case, it sounds better, it's our first video. And the record companies had sent it to MTV, and I remember we were first on tour with Ace Frehley and Y&T. Pretty good tour. And actually, I remember coming to Florida on that tour. I was slowly building up and things like that. And but we kept asking, how come we only see the video maybe, or we hear somebody has seen the video 3:30 in the morning, where there's only 2 kinds of people awake, and I don't know what kind of people that is. Like you, what were you doing at 3:30 in the morning? Or maybe you're coming back from the club and about to go to sleep, but you don't come home and says, I'm just gonna sit for another hour and watch MTV after I've just been in a club watching bands for 5 hours. I don't know. But I'm building a bit of a scenario just to kind of make the picture up. So we found out, that's not fair, and stuff like that. And this is a kind of like a double story. I'm going to try to make sense of it. At that moment, when our first video came out, Motley Crue had this dreadful song called "Home Sweet Home." I don't know if you guys know that song. No, you guys don't know, so that's why I said it like that. No, of course not. That song had just occupied that spot for eternity. As simple, nobody could remove them from that spot. So MTV, in all fairness, had come up with a kind of clause that after you'd been in rotation for a certain amount of time, you weren't eligible anymore for getting in on that 10 most requested video. And we were getting pretty close to have been on MTV for that long, except for nobody had seen the fucking video. And then I get word of it that they actually played somewhere in prime time and getting serious amount of phone calls. Why wouldn't they? And but because we now have fallen into that category of we've been in rotation for so long, we're not eligible for the 10 most requested videos anymore. This is holy. Now we got this close, but we're that far away. And I was up at the record company completely out of my mind because I had no concept of what it was. Just, can I call MTV? So they gave me the phone. I'm calling MTV. And the first person that answers the phone, and I lay a little into it, just push me on to another one. This is important. If you're in a band, don't try to do this today. They don't have phones anymore. You know, but after 5 or 6 people, I got through to the one who had made that rule and made those decisions. And at that time, in my Danish accent, I started saying a lot of stuff. And I think maybe they just had sympathy. So, and the guy says, yeah, you're right. So the following week, they played it in prime time. And the following week after that, we got the phone call from our managers who says, you better sit down at 5 minutes to 5 because this song is the most requested video in the country. It's called Living on a Prayer. This is a song that goes with me everywhere and stuff like that. And of course, as you probably heard in some of the other songs, it's taking a little bit of a different version, but you're not going to get lost in that. And I got word from one of my friends here tonight that he had talked to a guitar player. He says, oh man, I really want to come up and play that solo. I says, bro, I'm sorry, I'm playing in a completely different key, so you would have to learn the solo that you've known for 25 years. It would be impossible.
Wait just a moment before I go there, 'cause I must know the reason why we say goodbye. I said wait just a moment and tell me why, 'cause I can show you love that you want to like. But if you go away, I know that I will follow, 'cause there's a place inside my heart that tells me hold out, hold out, hold out. Wait, said, wait, show your love like it was before. 'Cause I won't let that feeling walk out through the door. I said, wait, just a moment and try once more. 'Cause babe, I just need to hold you like I did before. But if you go away, I know that I will follow. 'Cause here's a place inside my heart that chills me. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Oh baby, wait, wait. Never had a chance to lie. Wait, wait. If only our love could show you. Wait, oh wait. I never wanna be without you. Wait, wait. No, I never had a chance to love you. Now I only wanna say I love you one more time. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna stand here looking good. Remember that great guitar solo that Peter Brada played. But I'm not just gonna ask why or when. Just gonna accept that this is now, and that was then. So if you go away, I know that I will follow. 'Cause there's a place inside my heart that tells me hold it, hold it, hold it. Oh baby, wait, wait. Never had a chance to lie. Wait, wait. If only our love could show you. Wait, oh wait. No, I never wanna be without you. Wait, wait. No, I never had a chance to love you. Now I only wanna say I love you. Wait, wait. I never had a chance to love you. Wait, oh wait. If only our love could show you. Wait, oh wait. No, I never wanna be without you. Wait, wait. No, I never had a chance to love you. Now I only wanna say I love you one more time. Thanks so much. That actually felt good. Thank you very much, guys. And this is the interesting part in rock and roll these days. When a band usually come to this song, they have to leave the stage. And bands like the big bands like Motley Crue and Bon Jovi and Def Leppard, stuff like that, they're already by this time back at the hotel hanging out with some old chicks and stuff like that.
Because they're out of songs. What is it? Living on a Prayer and that cowboy song. Then John is done. He can't go on any further than that, man. I know it's. They do drum solos and stuff like that, and then the audience go, "Oh no, we gotta buy a T-shirt." And say, "But look where I am. I'm still here. There's still bullets in the gun. That's just the way it is. As a matter of fact, it's just the Giants that's left on stage. Skinner is standing behind me waiting to play Freebird, but I told him, not yet. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. We're just going to move 1 year further. Now we're in the summer of 1988, ladies and gentlemen. I know that was a big year for all you guys and girls. Shame on you girls. This is the city of Indianapolis, and I remember that like it was yesterday because it's also the weekend of the Indianapolis race. Well, band has to sleep on the bus because every hotel room is taken in the city for, racing freaks. The following night, we're standing in the dressing room, decked out from toe to toe, or vice versa, in 80s gear. And I remember the moment going out there and looking at the full-length mirror and go, doesn't get any better than this. It was probably my peak right there. I remember when we used to open up with Hungry, which I also opened up with, I managed to change jacket twice in the guitar solo. And the guitar solo really isn't that long. It's sort of just the stuff that went on back then. Especially when you were playing 55 minutes opening up for another kick-ass, big-ass band. It was just one of those things, man, I had so much clothes with me, and I'm like, holy shit. So I remember, man, it could have just been, at that moment, this is where it ends because you cannot get any better looking than right now. But at the same time, the band is caught up in a bit of debate because we're not sure if we have the balls to go out and play this next song that I'm going to play in, again, a little bit of a different version. Because about 150 feet away from where we're standing are 25,000 liquored up AC/DC fans. Yes! 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 And they're waiting for the pretty boys of rock and roll. At least that's what we put in our mind. And we do know, at that time we've already toured with Kiss, and we already toured with Aerosmith, and that's already a little bit of a glam crowd. They're a little bit more friendly, but this is the Back in Black, the Highway to Hell Boys. There is no guitar riff band on earth that has even come close to that. It's one of my own favorite bands, but I can't think about that time at all. I'm just thinking, holy shit. And so the band, none of us can come up with any good reason why we should and stuff like that. So our manager, who's from Brooklyn and is as close to Tony Soprano as you can get, he always paid us in a brown paper bag in cash, no receipt. He always showed up at the airport with a contract for us to sign, so we had no chance to call a lawyer before we had to board the plane. That kind of manager always carried a piece, and had just a certain way. It says, "Use guys," and then after that we have some rigatoni and stuff like that. It's just one of those things. And as we're standing there, I hear from the corner of the stage, "Hey guys, let's not forget that this song is the #1 song in the country. And maybe you should play it." They just have that kind of way of saying it that you can't say anything back to them. And he was right, we had that fucking song. And I remember standing on stage and the show went down. Incredible. I mean, as we went on stage, we could hear, no, we weren't just the pretty boys of rock and roll, we could actually kick ass, and we had a great band at that time. And the audience were there for us and stuff like that, it was great. But as Vito starts playing the riff, which of course I'm not going to do because that's what Vito does, he plays some riffs that's not meant for singers to play 25 years later. I don't know what's the point of that. Oh, planted landmines. I got some vocal lines that he can sing when he goes out. Nevertheless, as he starts the song, and I look over the crowd, and 25,000 big riders lights off, and it's a fucking ocean of flame. I go, holy shit. We got 25,000 teenagers out there smoking. That's what I'm thinking. Because you guys know that when you went to a concert in the 80s, you had a few tools in your back pocket. One of them were a big lighter and a couple other things that we don't need to talk about. It's just mandatory. I'm going to an 80s concert. This is what I got in my back pocket. I actually once looked at a girl's ass, done it many times. And she had the same three things in that pocket that were all worn into the pocket, even if it wasn't there anymore. It's just that badass. Now, here we are today, and luckily, Ozzy Osbourne has captured that memory on a live album, because we could have forgotten about that. When Mr. Crowley starts and Ozzy goes, "Let me see your cigarette lighters." Shakespeare or David Lee Roth could not have written a better line for a rock and roll singer to say, "Let me see your cigarette lighters." It just characterizes the time we were from, guys. That was our peak. Wasn't it wonderful? It was. And I know that once in a while some smart ass takes out an iPhone half the way through a song and puts on that civil application, and then it's not the same effect, does it? There's, you know, the story doesn't just end there. Why shouldn't it? As we come off the stage, pay attention to this, as we come off the stage, we are so high in the cloud from achieving this first show here. It's un-goddamn believable, because we'd never played with anybody like that. I mean, like I said, we've been with Kiss and Aerosmith with the great tour, but this was just 2 or 3 notches up, because it was so pure, the show. We're coming off the stage, and you guys have seen in video those long hallways. And this is like one of those Bon Jovi or Bon Jovi or Motley Crue videos where they're walking down the hallway in slow motion. It's just, it's like... There's always a big-ass security guy behind you, but the jacket is in the slow motion and the fucking hair. It looks fucking badass. It's just that moment. It's so... That's how we felt. At least that's how I was singing. And just as we get close to our dressing room, the second singer of AC/DC, just to clarify it, Brian Johnson, steps out. And I remember thinking to myself, and maybe thinking that Vito would be thinking to himself, holy shit, here he comes. Hey guys, you kicked ass and shit like that. Come hang with us after the show and drink some whiskey with Angus, knowing that the only thing Angus drinks is milk and tea. Some of you find out later on, but you have it inside your head. Here we go. We're going to have plenty of chicks and chips and stuff like that. That is the anticipation. Now he lays on. And he's got an accent that is much stronger than mine. It's from Newcastle, and I'm not even going to get close to that. But this is what he says. Very nice to see girls in the audience on this tour. We are standing there, hamana, not sure if this is a compliment or guys suck or something like that. And it's not until a few days later on the tour when we're standing at the monitor board, because I saw every AC/DC show on that 3 months tour. And I'm looking out in the audience and I'm seeing all the girls, showing their tits to Angus and stuff like that. That's what they mean. I says, fuck. They've had rednecks in their audience for 25 years, and now they got the pretty boys of rock and roll bringing in 5,000 hot-looking chicks. And a little bit of rock and roll.
Little child, dry explain the fear you feel inside. 'Cause you were born into this evil world where man is killing man, and no one knows just why. What have we become? Just look what we have done. All that we destroyed, you must build again. When the children cry, let them know that we tried. 'Cause when the children sing, then the new world begin. Little child, you must show the way to a better day for all the young. Oh, 'cause you were born for the world to see that we're all can live with love and peace. And no more presidents in all the wars will end. One united world under God. When the children cry, let them know that we tried. 'Cause when the children sing, then the new world begin. Let the new world begin.
You know, Angus can't do that kind of stuff.
What have we become? Just look what we have done. All that we destroy, you must build again. And no more precedents in all the wars they will end. One united world under God. When the children cried, let them know that we tried. 'Cause when the children fight, you better let them know that ain't right. When the children pray, you better show the way. 'Cause when the children they sing, then a new world begins. Yeah.
Thank you much, guys. It's been not just a pleasure, but a privilege being here in front of you guys. Really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm going to see some of you guys on the Monsters of Rock cruise in 2 days. And the rest of you guys, I'll see you down at Sears next time. You know? This is the kind of show, like, even if you don't want it or want it, the encore is already included. You cannot take it away. It's already included in the set. As simple as that. Yeah, but we don't want it. Doesn't matter. Have you ever bought one of those vacuum cleaners on TV and it comes with a second one? It's just 2 vacuum cleaners to throw out after 2 weeks. I'm falling for it too. It couldn't even pick up a cool, you know, like they pick up that bowling ball. Dude, I couldn't. couldn't even pick up a tennis ball with it. Oh, we'll send you another one. No, please don't send me another one. I already thrown two out. We're not doing this kind of stuff now. We're delivering quality over here. And like I said earlier on, and this is a difficult part for me, even though my mouth can deliver a lot of strange stuff. Talking about selling T-shirts and your album, even though it's very close to you, I had to talk to my agent and says, what the hell I'm going to do? I'm a one-man show, drive my rental car, I bring in my guitar and a little bit extra stuff, and then the T-shirt. I'm all by myself. What am I going to do? He says, all you need to do is watch the first season of Family Jewels. You know what I'm talking about? He says, after that, you simply cannot do anything that's embarrassing. Okay, it's impossible. I says, I'll try to remember that. I'll try to remember. So basically what we're going to do after the song here, because, yeah, that's 2 hours of good music. Next it'll be 2 hours 15. We're just going to find a space. What are we going to do today, Rich? What we're going to do down there where they throw darts at us. And stuff like that. And like I says, you know, your smartphone, start by turning the flash on, okay? Because we look much better on Facebook with the flash on. Simple as that. And anything else, like I says, we exchange in stores. I'll sign some albums. If you want a T-shirt, a hat, a new album. This is what I forgot to say. These days, just to really make a point out of how important my music is, I print my music on vinyl. And remember, usually I have a story about it because I remember when we stood in line waiting at the record store. And I know most of you guys that's old enough remember that. First of all, that's the time when we had record stores. They're almost gone. They're almost gone. They're almost gone. You know, now you buy the new AC/DC or Guns N' Roses album at Best Buys. But back then there were the local stores, and those were the stores that were helping breaking bands. They were equal and stuff like that. They didn't have to worry about it. They believed in it as much as the bands. You stood there in line waiting for that new album. The cellophane's still on. You took it home, looked at it for a while. Ooh, it's like foreplay with red wine and joint. And take it easy. We got all night here. It's not a DVD or CD, instant or download these days. It's a press. Band has been in the studio working on a killer guitar sound, and now it's coming out on an iPhone. Those days, people had big ass speakers. Speaker took up the whole bedroom. Yeah, the word you had a stereo is an amplifier with a big button and lights inside. Pumping. And that moment when you put the needle on, that 5 seconds of your heart beating, how is that? Because let's just be fair, nobody had heard the tracks before. There weren't anybody leaking at YouTube, downloading it somewhere, spreading it out. Nobody had heard that first track. You're sitting there, you're fucking shaking. How is that first track going to sound? How is it going to sound? The anticipation was like Christmas. Boom, 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 holy shit, man. I was shitting in my pants when I heard that Van Halen album in Denmark. I was like, what the fuck is that? The year before I'd heard Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock. Well, that guitar riff of AC/DC starting. There is nothing that comes close to that. There's nothing. Doesn't exist anymore. What exists is another song. That's what exists here, man. Turn on! I've been riding all night
she gets lonely and a longing that gets too much, she sends her comfort coming in from above. We don't need to let it out. We got a thing, and it's called red eye love. We got a land in the air. Radio plays some forgotten song. Motley Crue is coming on strong. The rope has got me hypnotized. You know, spinning into a new sunrise. When I get lonely and a longing that gets too much, she sends her comfort coming in from above. They say we don't need to let it out. We got our thing, and it's called red eye love. We got a land in the air. Oh yeah. No more speed, I'm almost there. Gotta keep cool now, gotta take care. The last kind of pass, and here I go. In the line of cars go down real slow. But the radio plays a forgotten song. Brandon Lee is coming on strong. And the newsman sang his same song. Oh, one more red eye love gone. When we get lonely and a longing gets too much, she sends an SMS coming in from her phone. We said we don't need to let it out. We got a thing, and it's called red eye love. We got a land in the air. We got a thing, and it's called red eye love. We got a land in the air. A red eye.
microphone. Thank you for giving me an absolutely wonderful, unforgettable night here at the Haven Lounge. Thank you for the hospitality, Pete. Thank you for your love and support. There's still a place for rock and roll of some kind, you guys. Bless you all. Let's do some hanging out. Give me a couple minutes and I'll see you guys over there, man. Thank you, guys.